On tonight's episode, we watched Ouija.
Ouija?
Actually, Ouija is the preferred pronunciation.
By who? No one.
On the dictionaries.
On the dictionaries.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Flophouse. I'm Dan McCoy.
And tonight, Dan is joined by three spirits. I'm Stuart Wellington, the scariest ghost.
And I'm Elliot Kalin, the shortest ghost.
And I'm Hallie Haglin, the pile of bones.
Oh no.
Okay, two ghosts and a pile of bones.
She's disintegrated.
That was that sitcom, Two Ghosts, a Girl, and a Pile of Bones. Not a good show.
Yeah, as has become a miniature Shocktober tradition, Hallie has returned to be with us. Yeah, because she's tiny. She's a tiny person.
With a big heart.
Yeah.
You're going to find that out tonight, people.
Hey,
In my special Christmas episode.
Wait,
Right now for Halloween. It's called A Very Spooky Hallie Christmas.
not even like Happy Hallie Days?
No, that sounds too much like Happy Days. And it gets confused with Hallie Days, Hallie's Happy Days tribute, where she plays all the parts. Hallie, give us a taste.
Hey, I'm talking over here.
Have you ever
Dead
seen
on.
Happy Days?
Now do Dwayne the janitor.
Can I empty your trash?
perfect.
Dead on.
100%.
Dead on. Now do the foreign exchange student Ronaldo.
Hola.
That was the most questionable hola I've ever heard.
I feel pretty pimped out right now, okay?
You are pimped out. I mean, look at those rims you got.
She's got neon lights under her chassis.
Yeah.
That's called ground effects.
Don't talk about Hallie's chassis.
There's a PlayStation 2 in her trunk.
That's not junk. In my trunk.
So,
Tonight's sponsor, PlayStation 2.
Go back in time and buy one today.
Games are still usable, Elliot.
tonight's sponsor, silliness.
Like the concept? Or is that like a syllabus company?
Yeah, the concept of silliness.
Silliness
Yeah,
syllabus.
just general hijinks and
Okay, thanks
Dan.
for explaining to me what
Cut-ups.
silliness.
So now that we've been goofballs, what do we do on this podcast, Daniel?
very serious. We watch a bad movie and then we talk about it. And tonight, for our final Shocktober in a month.
Ever.
What?
No,
Are we already ghosts?
Our final
Yes, we are. I
Shocktober.
already said that.
this year in a Shocktober that's brought us a cornucopia of Shocktober episodes. 3 regular episodes.
A corpsacopia.
One crossover
Gross.
episode, but this is the last one, and we watched Ouija.
Stop saying Ouija. They don't even say
Ouija.
Ouija in the movie.
You
they
weren't
call it
even
Ouija.
you were saying Ouija before we got on the air.
Suddenly,
I
when
was
we're
saying
recording,
both of
you're
them.
like, I'm going to be the cool
I want
guy.
to
switch it
I want to
back
impress
and
my
forth.
boys.
Then he put on his glasses and he's like, Ouija.
Yeah, that's true. You did put on glasses when we
Yeah,
started
that's
recording.
the coolest way to be. Put on your glasses and start correcting people's pronunciation.
He put his glasses on after we watched the movie.
He's like, the movie I found too blurry. I couldn't read any of the credits or other on-screen text. Thumbs down.
Which you need if it's a Ouija board. There is a lot of on-screen text.
That's true. Yes, no, letters, goodbye,
Yeah.
a moon, a sun.
Hi, friend.
Yeah, that's why I
The
don't.
Parker Brothers brand.
That's why I don't like a movie
Mattel.
about a Ouija board. Is that you have
Is it
to,
Mattel? Which is it? Is it Parker Brothers, Mattel,
I thought it was
or
Parker Brothers.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a board game, and Parker Brothers is a board game company. Mattel is...
you'd have to be bored to play this game?
Hi-oh!
Let's get to the movie.
But it's not just like having subtitles where you have to read the movie. You have to spell the movie. Like,
Yeah.
you have to-
Luckily,
It's like
they
Stephen
said
Hawking's telling you a
everything.
story.
No, but they would spell something out, but then they would say it out loud, and they would say it out loud much faster than I had been able to spell it because was like halfway through, and they're like, "Oh, thanks." for finishing
Now,
it.
let's make it clear. There have been 3 different movies named Ouija in the past.
So which
11
one did we
years.
watch?
We watched the most recent one from 2014.
we watched Big Top Ouija.
right after Ouija's Big Adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
What a better movie this would have been. It was called Ouija's Big Adventure, and it was about Pee Wee Herman or just Paul Rubens, out of character, using a Ouija
Yeah,
board.
who's a ghost?
And it was just him and I'm a ghost. I know you are, but what am I? No, a ghost. I know you are, but what am I? No, wait, hold on. I'm not answering the question
The
properly.
large Marge scene wouldn't be quite as scary there.
No, you'd know she was a ghost right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Am I speaking to large Marge?
Ah!
Yeah, okay, so I am. Great.
Yeah, the little planchette went on to WAAAA exclamation point.
Why did they even put an exclamation point on the Ouija board?
Because they learned with Ouija boards what everyone learned with text messages, which is if you don't put an exclamation point at the end, it sounds weirdly passive-aggressive and like you're mad.
Yeah,
So the ghosts always
that's
have
true.
to put exclamation points.
They didn't use it. Yeah, they definitely added it along with the emoticons that they added to the Ouija board.
Yeah, when they added that eggplant emoticon so that ghosts could talk about their penises.
That is funny though.
so the
Like,
Japanese ghosts could talk about their penis.
Why Japanese in particular?
Oh, I was thinking of
That old urban legend that Japanese men have eggplants for penises?
That's why Kid Icarus is always fighting him. Eggplant wizard.
I played Kid Icarus when I was little.
Wow, we have so much in common, me and Hallie.
You guys should get married or kill each other or I don't know what.
Or play Kid
What,
Icarus.
what if that was the lamest ever attempt to single white female somebody? That's why Kid Icarus was like this. I used to play Kid Icarus all the time too.
And now I'm gonna stab a stiletto through your eye. Happened in single white female.
Oh, my shoe's untied. I have to tie my shoe also. So Dan,
R.I.P. Steven Weber. He died in Single White Female.
he's still alive in real
He's
life.
still alive in real life.
Yeah.
No, he
Living
got
off of
that
that-
stiletto through his
living
eye.
off of that Weber
true.
Grill money.
Yeah.
Dan, you do know that when things happen in movies, they don't usually happen in real life, right?
What?
Uh-oh. We've got a lot of educating of this guy to
Yep.
do. Anyway, Dan, have you ever heard of Santa Claus?
You mean Fred Claus's brother?
Let's talk about Ouija, shall we?
Okay.
As it's shocked.
Yeah, we probably should.
I'll focus on the scares. Now, it's based on the popular board game, which is not actually a
Scares
game.
Cares, which is
It
my
is a game.
charity.
It's a charity that helps homeless ghosts.
Yep. Ghost without sheets.
Ghosts without the most. Beetlejuice, everybody.
Ghost without the most Beetlejuice. You need more Beetlejuice. Ghost.
Ouija. It's the movie we watched. Let's explain what happens in it, okay?
It's about a game.
It's about
A board
Ouija
game,
boards. Yeah, it's based on the popular way to contact the dead that doesn't work, but it does work for girls at slumber parties, apparently. Now,
Yeah.
the movie
So we open on some little girls playing with a Ouija board.
Yeah, and they tell us the rules of the Ouija board, which I've never heard before, which
Don't
is
feed it after midnight.
don't get it wet, and
Use
make
protection.
sure... and if you can't be safe, name it after me.
By the way, I want to say that like we
What, you name it Ouija?
yeah, and the rule gas, grass or ass, no one rides free.
Yeah, and also you smelt it, you dealt it. And if you can't take the heat, get out of the Ouija.
And also the Second Amendment.
They're like, okay, there's rules you need to know about the Ouija board. Never use it alone. Never use it in a graveyard. In order for the maintenance of a well-regulated militia, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed, and also have fun.
And don't forget, if you can't run with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
And this is very important. Do not tell mom the babysitter is dead. Use the Ouija board to contact the babysitter. She'll tell you when to go to bed.
And no running.
Also, Adult Swim, call kids out of the pool.
No runnings, just full stop.
No, that movie with Dougie Doug, No Runnings, where they couldn't afford a bobsled, so they didn't go to the Olympics.
Where John was that John Candy?
Yeah, John Candy.
He put so many weights in his bobsled that it just wouldn't move. That was funny.
You're really getting into this Cool Runnings
This is a
description.
really deep dive into the Cool Runnings
remember
plot.
that was why didn't win, and he had to become a coach
he cheated,
because
right?
he cheated by putting a bunch of weights in his bobsled.
Yeah.
The weight of
Sorry,
John
my
Candy
jokes got
wasn't
too
enough?
accurate
Come on,
for
Dan.
you.
Come on.
I mean, he's a national treasure, but he was a large man. I mean, a
Just
Canadian treasure.
It's still a nation,
Yeah.
technically. Now,
Canadian Treasure, starring Canadian Nicolas Cage.
there's a treasure map A on the back of
On the back of the loony. This means something.
on the back of the document that says we're our own country because we never had a revolution or nothing. Anyway, let's go find that treasure.
It's a bunch of cans of Schlitz.
You okay, Dan? No, you just
Basically, a
like
Bob or Doug McKenzie impression.
Exactly.
National Treasure.
So
National Treasure 2, Book of Strange Brew.
What? That's actually a good show.
I want to back up though and say that I predicted when we were trying to figure out what movie we were going to watch. I predicted that out of the choices, Hallie was going to choose Ouija because it's my theory that
Ouija.
women love Ouija boards.
They do.
I chose
LL Ouija boards.
Now, Hallie, this movie opens with two young girls playing with a Ouija board. It's they're friends.
I was
Debbie.
not one of them.
No, Hallie was not a character in the film. That's a good point we should make, I guess. Debbie and Blaine are best friends, and Blaine is not happy that her
Lane was her name.
Oh, Lane. Debbie
Not
and Lane.
Blaine from
16
yeah,
or no, from Pretty in Pink.
Pretty in Candles. Now, and
Who
Lane
wouldn't be
yells at
Pretty
her
in Candles?
younger sister to
It's
go away.
like those
Oh, God. Are we ever going to talk about this movie?
No.
no, but who
I'm gonna
does
give the
that?
shortest
Who
plot
is it?
summary
Is it
after this.
Well, there's nothing
Norway,
in
or
this.
who does the ceremony at Christmas when they just wear candles on their head?
What?
Those women.
I can't decipher this one.
Is this a Colorado thing?
All right, no. If you got for the ladies out there, if you had,
If your man's not giving you love, kick him to the curb. Also, can you tell me about this candlehead thing?
no, people will remember. If you had American Girls, it was Kirsten. I can't remember where she was from, but she had that outfit that was the candle on the head outfit because it was a tradition. Because she was an immigrant. I don't remember where from.
An immigrant who died in a mysterious fire.
That was really up to you. That was really up to the owner of the doll.
Is she like a miner or something? Why does she have a little candle on her head?
No, it was like a special, like some Scandinavian way to celebrate Christmas or
It was a
something.
Christmas thing, a foreign
Yeah.
Christmas thing,
Okay.
like a bouche de Noël.
Now
say.
there is no more appropriate time to talk about Christmas traditions than during our Halloween episode.
I told
the
you.
one that will literally,
literally-
go up on Halloween.
This is the least spooky Shocktober episode we've ever done. Someone throw some chain sound effects on there, Dan. There better be chain sound effects and creaking doors through this whole thing.
Oh, that's a scary
There
witch.
you go.
That was so frightening. Anyway, so these two girls are playing with the Ouija board. Hallie, when you were a little kid, like at sleepovers,
Yep.
did you used to play
Bring
with
Allie back into the conversation.
But at least it's relevant. Like, this is a thing that I, as a male child, never did.
You didn't play with Ouija boards?
No, I contacted the spirits by killing small animals and then pouring their blood onto the altar I carved. But so is this the thing that girls actually do
Yeah.
when they're kids?
Yeah, we had a Ouija board. We played Ouija.
Did you contact anything?
No, it never like worked for me.
I like that you're implying that
Nice
it was
qualifier.
your problem. I must have been doing it wrong
I
because this
don't know.
plastic board never contacted the dead.
I don't know what
Plan
turns
check.
spirits off to me. I don't know. I need to read a book about what spirits really want.
I mean, you did say last Shocktober that you really wanted to see a ghost.
I know, and I said it to you again on the subway today, not joking. You were like, "What are you going to do for Halloween?" And I was like, "I said it before, and I'll say it again. I want to see a ghost."
Well, I mean, but that's not what you're gonna do. That's just a wish.
I was just going ghost hunting, I guess.
Yeah.
Not busting, not hunting. I'm like a watcher. I'm like a bird watcher. I appreciate.
A
She's an
shapely ghost.
enthusiast.
You're a hunter in the same way that a MILF hunter is a MILF hunter. He's not killing the MILFs.
Well, so
So
Ouija
these girls
boards.
play with a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Cut to it's 8 years or later or however long. They're teenagers in high school now.
And one of those girls is immediately breaking the rules by playing by herself.
She's playing Ouija board by herself. She's trying to say goodbye to somebody. And does it work? She's her friend is talking to her. Lane is talking to Debbie on the phone, and she's like, "Hey, you gonna come to the game?" No. And I don't remember if we ever found out why Debbie did she break up with her boyfriend or something? Like, why?
She wouldn't come out of her house. She just wasn't feeling like it. She had leftovers. She had a plate of leftovers.
And I guess it's because she wanted to deal with this ghost. But instead,
too busy.
She doesn't want to go to the big game because she's busy with this ghost problem. She sits down for her leftovers. The lights are flickering. The door opens. The stove turns on. She goes up to use the Ouija board and is like...
No, she had already thrown the Ouija board in the fire.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, getting mixed up. She had said goodbye on the Ouija board, thrown it in the fireplace, went to sit down to eat her leftovers. Uh-oh. The door opens. It's spookiness. The fire turns on. She goes up to her room. The Ouija board is there. What? Ah! And then
no.
And we learned that you can see a ghost if you hold up the planchette and look through the little plastic circle in the middle,
which would have made the game like way more fun if I had known when I was a child.
Maybe you had contacted a ghost after all.
Monocle.
Yeah,
maybe it was a ghost that didn't have hands and so it couldn't use the planchette, but like you could see them if you hold it up. A ghost monocle.
Yeah.
So that is the most dapper ghost. It's just a monocle floating in midair, maybe a top hat.
So she holds
the ghost
that thing
of
up.
Mr. Peanut.
She holds that thing up and
and her eyes
like her eye totally milks over.
Yeah, she looks like Storm using her powers. Mm-hmm. And then she reaches up and grabs...
Or Little Orphan Annie at any point.
Little Orphan milky eyes.
She had no pupils.
Little Orphan Annie was always using her weather controlling powers.
Oh, I was like,
I'm not talking about Annie.
No, they fitted the girl playing Annie for all white contact lenses.
I would love that if it was like
they deemed it too painful and too scary.
It was like Robert Altman's Popeye level of like trying to be like the comic.
So she has no pupils. She's constantly getting kidnapped, and everyone hates Roosevelt. Is how it would go then.
And Daddy Warbucks is a huge war profiteer.
There was a whole series. He died in the comic strip, and then after FDR died, Daddy Warbucks came back and he was like, "Well, I don't have to be in hiding anymore now that man is dead." I was like, "That's terrible. That was the president." Even if you disagree with the man, have respect for the office. Anyway,
he was the Tony Stark's dad of his day.
And there's a war profiteer?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Was he also like a scientist?
I guess we'll take your word for it.
And his son is Iron Man?
No, Annie is Iron Man.
Iron Manny, of course. Although that sounds like Manny from Modern Family.
And Sandy was a war machine.
So Sandy is a dog in armor. I gotta say, that's a pretty great mashup right there.
So where were we in this movie?
So we're like 2 minutes in.
She has a song, "You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Suit of Armor." Okay, so she is now possessed. She takes a string of Christmas lights, hangs herself with them. In the first of many shock cuts that spook Hallie out loud, I find
didn't just
fantastic.
spook me. They got Dan. They got Stuart.
There were a couple of people,
I was freaking.
There were a couple times when people would go like, "Hey," and jump out of nowhere, and they were genuinely good jump outs. But what I like about watching a horror movie with Hallie is... Excuse me, I had a Popeye burp.
Started crying.
But I was too choked up.
You got choked up.
I love the experience of watching the movie with Hallie too much. What I love about watching a horror movie with Hallie is every scare, she goes, "Ah!" until a certain point in the movie where she just stops giving a shit. And she is so fed up with the movie, and she's just like...
Starts getting angry.
She's like, "Just do the thing, bitch. Come on, just go in and do that stupid thing." Like, I love it. There's this... And I can never quite pinpoint when the switch has happened, but I know when it happens when she starts talking. If anyone has the chance to watch a horror movie with Hallie, go ahead and do it. Maybe it'll be a prize in the contest. Now... she's dead. Her friends are devastated. They go to a diner the next morning for breakfast. They order her pancake with the works.
Because they thought she was coming. They had arranged prior to
Did
meet
we
her.
ever see what the pancakes with the works look like?
No, they didn't get a chance to
confirmation.
order, actually.
It's like
I'm guessing it's got like fucking gummy bears and shit in it. Whatever kids like to eat.
That would be awesome.
3 pounds of candy on top of it. And then they cover the whole thing just with...
Said the works. That's going to be $73.
There's just like a steak on top of it with like mashed potatoes.
There's one of those gold leaf things on it. Doesn't even have any flavor. It's just to be extravagant.
It comes with a ceremonial goblet and plate.
you keep that's why it's so expensive. That's the thing. It's not really a $10,000 pancake. It comes with a $10,000 bracelet.
You get a picture if you put on the wall if you eat the pancakes with the works.
Bracelet.
On the wall under a title that just says "idiots." But they cover up what it says when you're there. Oh yeah, you're on our wall of fame. Anyway, they're all devastated by the death of their friends. They don't know what's going on. She goes and
we're introduced to like a cast of cool hip teens, right?
Yeah,
you got the guy who kind of looks like Patrick Dempsey.
That's Lane's boyfriend.
You got the dude who
Trevor.
kind of looks weird.
Kind of looks like the guy from Chronicle.
Yeah.
And that's Debbie's ex-boyfriend. Now that she's dead, I think he's free to see other people now. And then there's also Lane's sister, who has grown up to be kind of a wild child. And there's also their friend, whose name I don't remember, who is the one...
Isabel, the waitress.
Isabel.
The ethnic waitress.
Yeah. Isabella Waitressini. Like Isabella Rossellini.
I got you.
But she's a waitress. It's an idea for a show.
Okay, who's going to be the star?
Isabella Rossellini.
Oh, okay. Who does she play?
Isabella Waitressini. It's loosely based on her story, except instead of being a popular model and actress, what if she's a waitress?
Okay.
But her mom is still Ingrid Bergman.
That won't be any weirder than those bug videos she makes.
Here's the twist. Instead of her dad being Roberto Rossellini, the director, her dad was Fernando Rossellini, a diner owner.
Weird that his last name's not Waitressini.
No, she uses her mother's maiden name, Ingrid Bergman Waitressini. It's very ironic. So they all get together and they're like,
Wait, what's the difference between...
Waitressini and Rosa?
That's not even my question. What's the difference between Ingrid Bergman and Ingmar Bergman?
Well, they're two totally different people. One is a man and one is a woman. One was a director and the other was an actress.
Wait, is Ingmar Bergman the one who puts the women with huge tits in his movies?
No, that's Russ Meyer.
No, it was a Seinfeld episode, right? Remember at their... Okay, we are getting really off topic.
I'll say.
But the ladies, you know what I'm talking about.
Let me just say this. No, they don't.
Stop getting the ladies to help you out from this.
Ladies, call in.
You do not know what she is talking about.
The phone lines are open. Call in if you know what she's talking about.
Ingmar Bergman
waiting for your call.
Put many beautiful women in his movies. They were not known for their enormous busts.
There was a Seinfeld episode about like all the waitresses that were being hired at their diner had huge boobs, and they kept being like, "It's like we're in an Ingmar Bergman film."
I think
that was like an Ingrid Bergman film. Bergman.
It was not
Russ
Ingmar.
Meyer.
I think they were saying Russ Meyer.
They were not saying Russ Meyer.
They were not saying
God.
Ingmar Bergman. Ingmar Bergman made dour films about man's inability to find the truth in a universe without God.
All right.
Although often it would be about the importance of religious faith, just in a bleak world.
Just like the
where
huge boobs in Persona.
Who can forget the famous scene in The Seventh Seal where the man plays chess with boobs?
Death has a bikini car wash.
Max von Sydow has to defeat Death in a wet T-shirt contest. Anyway,
this is approaching my Baba Yaga Streganana.
Streganana.
So
Streganona.
Thank you.
Okay.
We're well aware. She likes noodles. Anyway, so
She's a noodle aficionado.
I will point out Ingmar Bergman did make one movie with Ingrid Bergman, Autumn Sonata, which is a very good movie.
Okay.
Do you think they talked
figure that
about
out using your Ouija board?
They had to have. It had to have come up. The fact that people get them mixed up somehow, even though they're different genders and they do different things. But okay, so everyone's sad at the funeral for her friend. The post-Death of Superman storyline. Debbie's mom gives Lane this kind of box of junk and is like, "Hey, Debbie would have wanted you to have this random shit." But in it is
this penguin keychain. Debbie loved this penguin keychain.
That's one of the only items we know of in it are the penguin keychain and the Ouija board, right?
It's the kind of stuff we leave behind when we die, guys.
That the Ouija board just shows up in her house, right? Or something? Or they go to get it?
No, she finds it in her friend's house.
In her friend's house. Okay. I thought it was in the box for some reason. Anyway, she decides she wants to get in touch with her friend.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to use the Ouija board with her friends in Debbie's parents' house because Debbie's parents have left to get over their grief.
And they asked her to watch the house.
Asked her to house the house that her best friend does.
They're really just looking for an excuse.
This whole movie takes place in the town that dreaded parents.
That's the thing. Lane's dad leaves on a business trip at the beginning of the movie. Debbie's parents leave and go somewhere else. The other parents are never seen. There's almost no adults in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
The only adults
it's like the children in the corn town.
Children of the Corn Town.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, it's a place where everyone, maybe they're living in Logan's Run, and the parents were all going to get killed because they were over 30.
Mm-hmm. So they left the town because if you stick around, you'll get killed after when you hit 30.
Yeah, in Logan's Run town.
Mm-hmm. That seems like a mistake.
It's in the town charter. There's nothing you can do about it. So they use the Ouija board and they contact someone, a ghost, who says their first initial is D, and they say their goodbyes, and it's actually kind of a heartfelt scene.
Yeah.
And as I said while we were watching it, that would be a very powerful experience to have, to finally say goodbye to your friends who died before their time.
Yeah, to say, like, see you at the crossroads.
Yeah, I thought
to
that
sing
was
a little
weird
Bone
when you
Thugs and
said
Harmony
that.
for them. What?
I thought that was weird when you thought that was such a powerful moment.
Well, it wasn't a powerful moment in the movie, but it was like
But it would be if in life.
Yeah, I could imagine myself if you were in that situation.
If you actually thought that someone was talking to you from behind the grave.
If a friend of yours, if someone you were close to died before they should have, and you contact them from beyond the grave and you say, "I never got a chance to say goodbye and I miss you," and they somehow communicated back.
It's
to
like
you,
if you met that ghost you're
very
always talking
powerful.
about.
But she didn't get to say, it was just like, I never got a chance to say bye, so bye. Like,
I'm not saying they did it well in the movie. I'm saying in real life that would be very powerful.
It's not like
I'm
in
just
the
saying,
movie
Elliot,
Ghost.
what matters is how you treat people when they are alive, not when they're dead, okay? The ladies know what I'm talking about.
Good point. Anyway, from that point on, all sorts of spooky junk starts happening. Which one of them gets killed first?
Isabel.
It doesn't matter. They're all
Isabel.
interchangeable.
Isabel is
The waitress.
Yeah, she's about to take a nice bath and then starts fucking flossing, which teenagers love to do in this
before
movie.
that, all of them in one place or another, the phrase "Hi, friend" appears, and that's what the ghost said to them when they first used the Ouija board. And
Maybe
it's
was
written on one's car window, it's carved into a desk,
Right.
it's written in chalk in Crime Alley, where Trevor decides to walk his bike through, and past a spooky hobo's basket shopping cart full of cans.
You know what would have been better if when she met, I'm jumping ahead a little bit,
Sure.
but if when she went
Please
when Lane went to the insane asylum and she met that woman who used to live in the house.
Listeners, this will all make sense when I get to that part of the
Yep.
plot.
If she
Go
had
on.
said, if that woman had said "hi, friend" at some point,
Yeah.
Okay,
planted
yeah,
a
that would have been
little
a nice.
seed.
That would have been
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
You should send those punch-up notes to Michael Bay's Platinum Dunes company.
all right.
Is Platinum Dunes Michael Bay's company?
I thought his was the one with the tree getting hit by a lightning bolt.
No,
Chocolate
that's Terry
News.
Bruckheimer.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Lightning Tree Productions.
Lightning Tree Productions.
I don't know why I was mad when I said that, Stuart. I apologize.
Yeah, you seem really worked up.
Easy to
Are you
make
going
this-
through something, Elliot?
Jerry Bruckheimer and I broke up.
Okay.
And I wanted custody of the tree, and he wanted custody of the lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And we just hate to separate them. They strike so well together.
Mm-hmm.
So where were we?
So they get the message "Hi, friend" appears over, and there's one scary moment here for me where
You thought you started contemplating your own mortality.
where I thought I was having a heart attack briefly.
You're like, I spent so much time in my life watching this movie, and
Like, I could
I
be
only
with
have a
my
limited
family right
amount
now.
of time on this spinning globe.
On my deathbed, am I really going to regret not having seen Ouija? Anyway, where Isabella is going to her car after work, and there's a flyer on it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that because she's carrying a bag of trash over her shoulder, and you're like, who
"Ew,
the fuck
gross.
does this?
Ew, it's going to get trash juice all over your clothes.
She's wearing her nice clothes at that point.
Yeah, she's wearing a tuxedo with tails.
But she's wearing her street clothes. She's not wearing like her uniform.
No,
Like,
that's
it's-
true. And she's holding a garbage bag over her shoulder in a way that she's guaranteed to get crap on her.
Yeah, garbage juice.
And Stuart, you made a very good point that it's restaurant garbage. It probably has some broken glass in there.
Broken glass, maybe a French fry or some kind of grease.
I
Probably.
totally French
Some kind
that
of greased
fry.
up spoon.
Probably, probably a bunch of AIDS needles in there.
Yeah, it's lousy with them.
Yeah, because that's that kind of diner.
And lousy's appropriate because there's probably louses.
That's the plural of that word.
Used up carbon rods from a nuclear plant.
Yeah, why not?
Just throw it in.
That's how you get pancakes with the works.
And probably just like a gremlin, still alive, just kind of trying to get out of the bag. So there's there's a flyer, and she removes it and says "Hi friends" on the window, and then
My friend.
"Hi friend," sorry, a "Hi friend" on the window, and a hand suddenly from inside the car slaps the window, and she opens the door and there's nobody there. And
Which is crazy. Why would you open the door?
Trying to give her a
If
high
I saw
friend.
that, I would be like, fuck this. I'm going back inside.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna blow up this car. And I'm gonna Left Eye Lopez this car. So
Aw.
Wait a minute. That's what
Left
happened?
Eye Lopez died in a plane crash.
no, she didn't. She burned.
That
her,
was Aaliyah.
Didn't she?
Oh.
No, I think Left Eye Lopez did too. Didn't
I
she
think
light
they
her
both
boyfriend's car on fire?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought it was her.
Listeners, write in if you know the backstory
which
of
member of
TLC.
TLC
Phone lines are open. Call in right now.
Yeah, just call my number.
It's 112
Stuart is
Fake Street,
staring at
Anytown,
his
USA.
phone
The
right
phone.
now.
His number is
You can shoot
1-800
me a text.
1-800-NewYork.com. I thought she was the one who lit her NFL boyfriend's car on fire.
That's possible.
Anyway,
Maybe.
but that was
She did die in a plane crash also. Not just Aaliyah.
Okay, stop looking at me
yeah,
like
right.
that.
Like 2 people died in plane crashes.
Next, you're going to tell me that Leonard Skinner died in a plane crash.
He did?
Yep, Leonard Skinner.
But that was a creepy moment. Just like a hand, and you don't know who the owner of this hand is, and it just slaps the window in. But she opens the door. There's nobody.
Yeah, it's
there.
one of like many decent jump scares this movie uses.
Yeah, they're
the
not-
other one where they had the boyfriend investigate the mystery of the pool tarp, and that's when she's.
Is strangely not attached properly.
So we're watching this. We're like, that dude's gonna fucking drown in there, right? And so while he's fiddling with the pool tarp, it cuts to Lane.
Let's just make it clear. Unlike other tarps we've talked about on this show, there is not any sort of low-budget lesbian orgy taking place on it. This
none
is a
at all.
regular pool tarp.
And so Lane
She
is.
didn't die in a plane crash. She died in a car crash.
Oh, then I feel bad. I'm sorry. Did she light her boyfriend's car on fire?
We'll find out in a second. We'll get back to that in a
Look
second.
it up. And if anyone was offended by that, I was not referring to her death in a car crash.
Tennis shoes. When she set fire to Andre Rison's tennis shoes in a bathtub.
Huh.
No,
That's
it
not
set the
story I
house on
heard.
fire, right?
Which ultimately spread to the mansion they shared.
Okay, I got her.
Yeah.
I got her.
So yeah, she was in the house.
Really buried the lead, so focused on the tennis shoes. So it was a house I was thinking of, not a car. I apologize. I think I was thinking of, what's the movie where the woman lights her boyfriend's car on fire because he's cheated on her or something?
There's
The
Mystic
Big
Pizza where
Lebowski?
she dumps all those fish in his car.
That's not the same thing at all. Fish represent water, which is the opposite of fire.
There was Tiger Woods' wife where she
It's
broke.
not a movie.
There was that
Not
time
yet.
that astronaut lady drove across the country
In a
in
diaper.
a diaper.
That's not what I'm talking about. No, those are all mostly
There
things
was that
involving
movie
cars.
Where one of the poor cars was set on
The
fire.
horrifying sentient cars. A dystopian nightmare future world where cars have taken over.
So Isabella goes home. She runs a bath. She starts flossing as anyone would right before they take a bath, especially when you're a teenager. And suddenly her mouth gets sewn up. And her eyes cloud over. And you think she's going to drown in the bathtub, but instead she's levitating, and then she falls and hits her head on the sink. And that's how it kills her.
So the ghost, it covers its tracks.
Now, I can't remember the order of the movie. Have we already seen the ghost by this point or no?
No.
Okay, so that's when they contact the ghost. They find out the ghost there's 2 ghosts. There's a girl who's had her mouth sewn shut, and there's an older woman who is presumably the ghost's ghostly mother.
No, it's not presumably. It's told through the Ouija board.
That this
Mother is
Oh,
spelled
that's right.
out.
Mother
Yeah, they
is
spelled out, and then everyone's like, MOTHER, mother.
Yeah, it's like, get out of here, and they're like, why?
Is there a
And they're like,
gas leak ghost?
She's coming, and then they're like, who? And it's like, mother. It's like, you should have just left when they said get out.
I
of here.
wish that instead that they were like, let's name women until the Ouija board tells us we've got the right one. Who's coming? Is it Nia Peoples? No. Is it Jada Pinkett Smith? No, it's not.
Mariska Hargitay.
Is it the late Georgia O'Keeffe? No, it is not. All right. Come on.
Is
Chelsea
it Gabourey
No.
Sidibe?
Hillary Clinton? No.
Dina Menzel.
Is it the kid from Beasts of the Southern Wild? I don't remember her full
Frida
name.
Kahlo.
Frida Kahlo?
I sort of elided the word a little bit.
I guess so. So anyway, they know that there's a ghost with an evil mother,
Yep.
and the teens start getting picked off one by one. just in dumb ways. And each time
they've clearly opened a door to something they can't control.
Yeah, exactly. It's a regular Hellraiser, Wishmaster type situation.
Regular
If only it was any of those three things he said.
Even the gate?
Yeah.
Okay.
The gate and gate 2, sure, fuck that.
What about House?
Speaking
or
of
House
Canadian
2?
treasures.
I'd totally watch House over this movie.
Yeah.
And House 2, the second story. John Ratzenberger. But
That's it. I mean, House 2, the second story. That is one of the best subtitles for a sequel.
Or nothing scarier. It's not a bungalow. It's not a ranch house. Oh,
that's what it means. I thought it was just saying it's the second story in the series.
There's so many meanings to this.
Well,
so many levels you were going to say, right? Like levels in a house.
I wish I had. That would have been so good. And I'll cue beer opening. So the kids are getting killed one after another. They decide they're going to investigate. They do some very not thorough archive skimming, and they find that in the house...
They find a bunch of super fake-looking old newspapers.
They find a bunch of photoshopped newspapers like you would get at a carnival that would say, like, world's greatest lover names.
Most terrifying bandits captured.
With a picture of you with a bandana in front of your face. And holding up, for some reason, a penny from that year to prove you're a time traveler or something. It's so much backstory for your carnival photo. Now, they find out that the house there was a mother and 2 daughters there. One of the daughters went missing. The mother was suspected in the disappearance, but no charges were pressed. And the other daughter killed the mother and was thrown in an insane asylum. And that was 40 years, 50 years earlier, 60 years earlier.
Question mark.
I wasn't quite sure what time period it was supposed to be happening in.
No.
But I know from one of the from one of the other articles on the fake newspaper that candidates were picked earlier than usual. It didn't. The headline was not much clearer than that. Anyway, Lane decides it's time to do a little detective work. Mm-hmm. She goes to the crazy people home for the criminally crazy bones, and she finds the sister, bump bump bum, who functions as an exposition dump.
Yep.
And she says,
And doesn't seem crazy at all, by the way.
She's-
It's, like, totally normal.
or so we think.
Super cogent, at least. Like,
She's like, oh, hey, you're coming to visit? Oh, like,
do you
it's
want
great
a bunch
to
of
see.
information on how to deal with this fucking ghost?
Let me tell you about like how I grew up. It was, it wasn't easy.
Looking back now, I understand how hard it was for a single mom taking care of 2 rowdy kids. But, at the time, how can you know? You just don't understand. You know what? I better call my mom. Do you have a Ouija board on hands?
No.
anyway,
Yes, I
ghosts. I know about ghosts. What do you...
And she says that, oh, well, my sister and my mother got into seances. My sister became a medium, and the demons started talking through her all the time, and she couldn't stop talking and babbling their evil spirit stuff, so our mother sewed her lips shut and then killed her, I guess?
Yeah, something like that.
And so I killed my mother in revenge, and now I'm here eating Jell-O every day, and I get to sit around in my pajamas in a wheelchair.
Crazy.
This is the life. And she just starts singing Weird Al Yankovic songs. But anyway,
And then she's like, bring me another Jell-O. And the nurse is like, you're cut off.
I was about to say
Leave the bottle.
Jell-O. It would pour out
Leave
so
the entire
slowly.
bottle.
the box. She just has like sleeves of gelatin. She's
Now, I'm glad you guys overlooked that I was about to say
Inhaling the
Woody
dust.
Al Yankovic before. But I do want the listeners to write in what they think a Woody Allen Weird Al Yankovic mashup song
I mean,
would be
it
like.
would basically be Johnny Dangerously, right?
I guess the song, you mean.
Yeah, well, this is the life is from Johnny Dangerously.
Yeah, that's true. But it's not like Woody Allen has a real connection to
He's
Johnny.
not in Johnny Dangerously?
He doesn't play Johnny or Dangerously.
So, wait. Oh, I guess that was Joe Piscopo that I was thinking of.
It's a common mistake. A lot of people make it.
Very similar.
Okay, so basically,
So she's
but
like-
through this,
So the lady is like, you've got to release
she's like,
her.
my mom's the evil one, but my sister is not.
And so you've got to free my sister by cutting the strings on her lips, and she can stop my mom because the mom left the body in the house. It turns out the number 2 rule of using a Ouija board, never do it in a graveyard. because there was a corpse in the house, it counts as a graveyard.
Yep, the referee allows it.
People died all over the damn place. I mean, if we're gonna do it that way, like,
Well, no, I don't
There's
think
probably like caveman bones under us right now.
every place is a graveyard.
I think it's the presence of the body, not the fact that someone died there.
All right.
I know we live in a nonstop abattoir that is this planet Earth.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
But I think it's just because the body was there. At most, you don't know this, but whenever a new
But also
building is
a
built,
nonstop arboretum.
Yep.
you know, you put
the
a
thing
positive
is,
spin on that.
one comes out of the other, you know?
Nope, not at all.
One person decays and then a tree springs up.
Grows
That's how
in
we get the
Brooklyn.
giving trees.
Especially here, yeah, in Brooklyn.
Yeah, where that tree grew. Its name,
That one time.
Treemore. The tree king of Brooklyn.
Suddenly, tree more.
I wish that now that HBO, when they were selling Treme, had a slogan. It was suddenly Treme. Anyway, she goes, okay, we got to go cut the threads on this corpse's mouth. Let's do this thing.
And her friends are like, shit, let's do it.
They're like, we got no other choice. This ghost is stalking the crap out of us. They go and they go
They're
to
like, no, but it's TGIF.
I want to
It's
watch
the
step by
TGIF.
step.
Must see TV
And
over here.
Perfect Strangers, the later seasons. You know, when they were living with their wives in that house?
But she was like, no, sorry. You're going to have to TiVo it.
They're saying,
Because there's no time.
no, sorry, it's not the 90s. Can't do that anymore.
You can't do that on television.
Anymore. We wanted to go down to the Museum of Television and Radio and recreate a TGIF lineup of one Friday night.
Have you ever done that?
We were going to go to the Pinkley
that'd be pretty
Center
fun.
where they had
We were
they were going to
gonna-
reunite the casts of everything.
We were going
Of
to use
everything. They were going to reunite the cast of every show, all the way back to Captain Video and Playhouse 90, through to the hits of today. Has Ugly Betty ever met Make Room for Daddy? Now they will. It's the biggest television panel in history.
What about My Two Dads and My Three Sons?
There's 5 of them right there on stage. All of them.
Gilligan's Island and Fantasy Island? Yep.
I Love Lucy and I Love the 80s. They're right there.
What about the
Twilight Zone and the new Twilight Zone on one stage?
and the cast of Sisters?
Yep.
That goes without saying. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Dan, I like watching Dan laugh at this one. Is it starting up again for real?
Part of it is that it's genuinely funny, and part of it is that it's like the perfect Hallie joke.
It's true. I just imagine, Hallie, you writing Daily Show scripts every day, and you're like, why aren't my jokes about the show Sisters getting on the air? Maybe
You don't have to imagine that because that's happened.
maybe my empty nest material will make it on.
I've definitely read jokes about both of those shows. And I have even less hope now with Trevor. Oh.
Recently, Hallie and I were talking about how we both watched the show Dear John,
Okay.
and like about how like we were like, as a child, what did we see in this show where it's about Judd Hirsch dealing with his divorce in a support group?
I don't know. You saw a chilling vision of your future, I guess. I don't know.
All right, thank you.
Oh, right, because of that thing. Sorry. Anyway, so I just meant that in a general sense.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that you look like Judd Hirsch.
You should be flattered.
And you've got tons of letters.
He was in Independence Day.
Yeah, sure.
Now,
I'll take being Judd Hirsch.
for 100, Alex.
He's had a great career.
The star who appeared in Taxi, and who is Judd Hirsch. We really should have made this category harder.
Wait, you guys-
Being Judd Hirsch is a Charlie Kaufman movie.
We should, like, they're dying to know what happened next.
Okay, so they find
Nice segue.
they find a secret compartment room in the basement. Inside is the daughter's corpse. The daughter's ghost appears.
With a couple of blue gems on her eyes.
Yeah, all sorts of spooky stuff. It's set up like a seance, whereas with a chalkboard with writing on it, or as Stuart said, it was what was it, the menu
Like
at a
a menu at a hipster restaurant.
The friends are getting knocked about the place by, I assume, the mom's ghost. But and Lane is taking
Ghost Mom.
Yeah, the sequel to Ghost Dad.
Surprised that movie generated a sequel at this point.
Yeah, well, no, it's in production now. Somebody in Hollywood just heard that Bill Cosby was in the news. And they didn't read the story. They're like, get me Leonard Part 7, get me Ghost Mom, get me... Did he make any other movies?
Well, he made Uptown Saturday Night.
Oh, that's true. He made all those movies in the 70s. Yeah, Mother Jugs and Speed.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Let's Do It Again
Who
was about him
Speed?
Assaulting women.
Yeah.
Speed?
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
And again.
Okay.
And again.
But he was really young when Mother Jugs and Speed was made, so it was Raquel Welch, Bill Cosby, and baby Keanu Reeves. Part of Jim Henson's Keanu Reeves babies.
Little Keanu.
Little Key. So they managed to stop they managed to do it. She cuts the threads on the corpse. The girl ghost is allowed to scream, and she screams the mom ghost into dust. Case closed, but there's still like 20 minutes left in this movie.
Is this
We're
going
like,
to pull a
what?
ring?
Yeah, everyone made the same guess of like, oh, they're going to pull a ring on us.
Yeah.
Pulling a ring on somebody means that you think you helped the right ghost, but it turns out you helped the wrong ghost.
I thought it meant someone was going to propose to me. So the 20 minutes,
you
the
got
last 20 minutes of the movie were very different for me.
Allie was just darting her eyes around the room, wondering which of us was going to pop the question.
Like nervously being like, which one of these people do I have to turn down?
Oh, I thought, so who will I spend the rest of my life with? It was one of those things where you like threw a bunch of letters up in the air to see what the initials of your future husband would be.
Sure. She was
I
looking
used
at
a
herself in
Ouija
a compact. Oh, you used a Ouija board to
Yeah.
figure out the secret. Okay.
Exactly.
And
It's
what
probably a mistake.
What did it tell you?
QXI. I don't know.
My husband's name will be Yes. No, so
My husband's name will be Parker Brother.
I'm going to marry one of the Parker brothers, or both of them. The future is very liberal. So it turns out she goes back. So they're one of their Debbie's ex-boyfriend. He gets killed same way. Eyes cloud over, and what was his death all about?
He thought he goes into his room and she's like chilling next
Debbie
to
is
his computer.
there.
And he's like, Debbie?
But you're Daddy.
And
And
That
then
would've been great.
Debbie turns into evil girl ghost, and she screams him into dust.
and his lips get all sewn up.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't
Eyes
scream
cloud
him
over.
in dust. That comes later.
Oh, that's
mean-
right. His eyes cloud over, and he gets his lips all sewn up, and he gets zombified.
We're
or
taking
something.
four fucking ever. So is there a way to just skip to the very end of this?
So Lane goes to the crazy house. She says, "You set me up. We helped her, and we helped the wrong ghost." And she was like, "She'll do things for me." And so they have to go. She finds out from her abuela that you have to destroy
yeah.
the Ouija board and the corpse. This is a character.
We did forget that.
Yeah,
We're-
that she has a Ouija board in her room, and her vaguely ethnic grandmother finds
Is
it.
that her grandmother? I thought it was her cleaning lady.
The only time we see
Wow.
her, she's picking
Is
up laundry
cleaning.
on a
Yeah.
staircase.
That's the reason why.
well, but also like
I assume that-
Elliot was like, is there gonna be like a vaguely ethnic like housekeeper
that like tells her like you should not be dealing with these things.
and then immediately that's what she said.
yeah.
So she only appears twice in the movie. Once to say don't play with Ouija boards because being an immigrant, I have a connection to mystical things.
Yep.
And the second time to say, oh, well, you need to destroy the Ouija board and the corpse. And it's like, why didn't you talk to her earlier about this,
And then the third time to say housekeeping.
Hallie?
Just kidding.
Sure.
No, I was saying because
Joke.
they marginalized her and it was sick in the movie.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to heighten that to shame them.
Thank you.
I think the ladies know what she's talking about.
Yeah, right?
I think las niñas. No, I guess that's girls, not ladies. Let's think
Las chicas saben de que yo hablo. ¿No? Bueno.
Now, so they go back to the seance dungeon. The ghost is tossing everybody around, throwing them up and down, and the ghost is attacking Lane's sister, who we haven't even touched on, but she's like the weakest badass punk kid that there ever was. Lane starts using a Ouija board to draw the ghost over. She's like, DZ, which is the name of the ghost. I'm playing by myself. You have to join me, which was not a rule that was ever mentioned. But the ghost comes over and
I
joins
think it
her
makes sense.
and starts twisting her arm around until it's almost backwards. It looks like things are bad for the teens until
Her eyes cloud over.
her eyes start to cloud over until, dun-dun, a third hand touches the planchette. It's Debbie's ghost. She's come back to help them. And
Apparently something that could have happened at any time.
yeah,
so.
Debbie was really waiting for the right moment to
Yeah.
come in.
Yeah, after all of her friends got killed.
And while Debbie's ghost
She
is
likes the drama.
Well, she was in
That's
the
Debbie
theater.
all over.
classic
Yeah.
Debbie. Save the drama for your mama, who you screamed into dust. Anyway, so while she's struggling with the ghost, her sister just kind of casually walks in with a corpse in her arms and tosses it into a furnace.
It's like, getting rid of this.
A lot of junk.
Spring cleaning.
What was I kidding? I'm never gonna look at this corpse again. Toss it away. Why did I hold on
You know
to
what they
this?
say? You put everything in front of you, touch it, and if it doesn't bring you joy, you get rid of it.
I was gonna say my
And
dad
this
and I
corpse is not bringing me any joy.
My dad and I this weekend were going through some of his father's old papers that he had been keeping, and we went through, and it was like receipts for shirts and things like that. It was the dumbest stuff, and my dad was like, I can't believe I've been carrying this around for 40 years. These old checks that he wrote to the power company in 1972. But we went through those with more excitement than this woman than this girl had with
More
throwing
reverence,
a corpse into a furnace to stop a ghost attack. They throw the Ouija board in, and the girl ghost is like,
I do not care for this, yeah.
and disappears. Once again, dissolves into dust, leaves nothing but a shadow on the wall, and everything is okay.
Or is it?
Or is it?
What?
Because she gets home. Lane does, right?
Yes.
And there's like a Ouija board there.
No, just the planchette.
Oh, just the planchette.
Just hanging out.
And she holds it up to her eye, and before we can see if her eye clouds over and she sees any ghosts, cut to the credits.
Smash cut.
Ghost down. When you're
You're gonna
Ouijaing
have
up, Ouijaing down. Don't touch that board. You might as well Ouija. Ouija!
Yeah.
Go ahead and Ouija.
Welcome to the Ouija. We got fun and games.
Life in the fast Ouija.
Yep.
Running on
That's
Ouija.
funny because there's a
Running
character
on.
named Lane in the movie, and you swapped out Lane for Ouija. Appropriate.
Good point. Anyway, so the
Everybody
movie leaves,
reflect on that for a minute.
the movie leaves us on a very weak cliffhanger as we go in. We wait for Ouija 2 because this movie was a huge hit.
It also went through substantial rewrites, right?
Reshoots.
Reshoots. Wow.
According to Wikipedia, they reshot like half the movie.
Oh man,
But it
must
looks
have left all that gold on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
I'm dying for the unedited version released.
Apparently, none of the
Were they
DVD
more-
releases have it.
Where they morphed the two versions of the movie
They
together.
should have a second. They should have it like
Like
that-
Anchorman?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Anchorman, the shitty Anchorman movie they put out with all the extra footage.
Wow.
I mean,
Oh, was the
Meow,
was the title the
sorry.
shitty Anchorman movie?
it was not meant to be seen by anyone. That's why they cut all that stuff.
Hope none of the anchormen are listening.
More like
No, I
Anchorman.
actually, I mean, I hope they are, so they can recommend this great podcast to their friends.
I'm sorry, Paul Rudd.
So
You're
da-
a national treasure.
the other members of Anchorman's cast, not sorry. You hear that, Christina Applegate?
David
And you,
Koechner.
David Koechner, and that animated bear or whatever that they ride at that one point. What is it? When he's
Ted?
playing flute.
On a
Yep,
unicorn
Ted,
or
the
something?
animated bear from a different movie.
Okay.
He had to start somewhere, okay?
Yeah, he was an extra in Anchorman.
That wasn't his
What if
first
there
movie.
are all these movies where there's just
Yeah,
like a
he gets
CGI.
starring role
There's
right
a
away.
there's a CGI teddy bear in the background because Ted had to work his way up through the ranks.
Exactly.
That
Oh, I
seems-
forgot
that's
that
the most
Ted-
like Seth MacFarlane-y gag.
I forgot that Ted had a recurring part on Step by Step.
Listen, does nobody make the connection? I think that quite possibly Ted could be Teddy Ruxpin. Teddy Ruxpin was the child star, and he turned into Ted.
Okay, wait, have you seen the movie Ted? Or are you
No.
just, you're just making up what could have happened in that movie?
Yeah.
So Dan, what's our final judgments on this thing?
Was this movie totally scarifying, totally snorifying, or frighteningly funny? Stuart, let's make all these quick.
Man, this shit was super scarifying. So many jump scares, and there was a ring twistaroony. Thumbs up or down. I don't know what scarifying means.
Hallie?
Oh, sorry. I thought this movie sucked. I have appreciated other movies. I definitely take that awkward
Just
moment
in
over
case
this.
you think I hate all movies, I've appreciated other movies.
No, but it was like nobody had any, like, like at least develop the characters. I mean, what makes Lane tick? I don't know, besides ghosts.
We didn't even mention the fact that she finds a flash drive inside that penguin keychain, and there's just video of it on it of her friend finding the Ouija board and then using it for the first time. Like, this is a lazy movie.
Yeah, it's snorifying. That's all I have to say.
I'd say it's horrifying. It's like a lazy, bland, generic movie.
Yeah.
We're Dave and Graham, and we host Stop Podcasting Yourself.
We started this podcast back in 2008, before podcasts had to have any kind of concept, so we don't really know how to describe it.
It's kind of like going to the barber shop if your barber knew all about the first season of the show Alf.
It's like a 90-minute massage where the masseuse is two people talking to each other with a third person.
It's like the Monsters of Metal tour, only quieter, no music, and just talking.
It's like a makeout session, but without the lips touching, they just talk a lot.
Download Stop Podcasting Yourself from iTunes or MaximumFun.org.
What's the next thing we do?
It's letters from listeners.
From
Like
listeners.
You.
And you. And you. And you. And you.
Is that supposed to be one of my songs? We got those letters, letter night. We'll read a bunch of letters for Shocktober, and it's scary times. Letters, letter stuff. You wrote them and we read them, and then you listened to it. Letters from out of the mailbox come the words.
That's your Vincent Price.
Letters
Why
that
do you
you've
have
never
books?
heard. It's not a great Vincent Price.
From out of the mailbox, the letters come.
No, not at all. No. I see where you're trying to go with it.
Vincent Price. It's me, Vincent Price.
Better, but still not great.
I'm not Dan McCoy anymore. I'm Vincent Price.
No, it's too
I'm sort of Vincent Price mixed with Orson Welles.
but bad.
Orson Welles. There's a farm I know of where the peas grow.
It's like helium Orson Welles.
Yeah.
So
Orson Welles.
so
Orson Welles enough.
The French champagne has always been known for its excellence.
well, thanks to that, no one's going to get to hear the rest of my letters spoken word section. But rest assured, it ended with this: with the power of the letter.
Cat's eyes.
And
Cat's eyes.
Stewart and Cat's eyes. The scariest thing when I was a kid I had ever seen was not the zombies, was Michael Jackson turning around with those cat's eyes in his eyes. So frightening.
You're like, I'm allergic to him. Oh my God.
I'm having trouble breathing right now. And he's a pedophile. I don't know how I know that already.
So there's some gifts from listeners that I first want
It's
to
pronounced GIFs.
hand out.
There's some Ouija gifs.
Dan, I don't want a gift handout. I want a gift hand up.
I want to thank the people for these gifts. Unfortunately, I lost the letter that went along with this first thing.
Wow.
Because you jerked off on it so much.
Whoa, Hallie.
I lost it because I jerked off on it.
He lost
Yeah,
the
like how
words.
you lost
They
all them
just got all
Playboys.
blurry.
He lost it. He thought he could
I
hold
lost
out
respect
longer.
for that letter after I jerked off on it.
And then you were like, get out of here. The money's on the table, letter.
So this is a
Try not to slam the door too hard on your way out.
This is the PS4 game Evolve, and
Okay.
it was a gift from one of the people who worked on it. I'm really sorry that I lost,
That's really cool, though.
but the team who worked on it signed it.
Why don't you
Oh,
just
awesome.
read the
Oh,
signatures?
that's awesome.
One of them says
Wiggly.
Joe Fowler. One says Matt A. One looks like maybe a B. There's a B in there. One I think says Cars. So one says Mrs. Not Dad.
I think that says Lars.
Okay.
Mrs. Not Dad.
Ms.
It's probably Ms. Not
This is
Dad.
Ms. and it looks kind of like not. That
Are you
definitely
sure that's
looks like
mom
Dad.
and dad?
Dan.
Dan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you.
Ooh, this has been the Teaching Dan How to Read segment.
Yeah, I'm going to hand this over to Stuart because he has a PS4.
You
Okay,
can
I'm going to
read.
play this game. Thank you.
The first video game based on the movie
Oh,
Volver, which involves a ghost.
So thank you for that.
looks
Volver.
I want to thank. I got a gift so I didn't get it for myself. It was given to me.
Dear Dan, you're my favorite. Love, Dan. I bought this off your wish list.
I just like to
Which is also
thank,
mine.
I'd like to thank you personally in the podcast, Dan.
Dan, I had a hunch you wanted this because I'm you.
It's from
You should give that to someone.
It's from Amy Pascal, who wrote it.
Oh, cool.
It's a biography of Joss Whedon. So
Joe Sweden.
No,
Yeah,
it's
from-
what I say after I tell a joke. I'm like, just Whedon.
so
Hey, guys, I'm just Whedon. Just Whedon witching.
thank you so much to Amy for the gift. I will read it in good health and excitement.
That means the bathroom.
And
That's a cool gift.
Hopefully it's good health.
This is not
There's a
in the
cool gift.
bathroom.
this is not specifically for anyone, but I think it's going to go to Elliot because
Because I am currently giftless
he's
right now.
currently giftless. This is from this is from Andy.
Hallie. Give Hallie.
This is from Andy Toohey. It's called Great Film Directors A to Z, and it has illustrations of film directors along with brief biographies of them. But the meat of it is these lovely illustrations of all these
That's very nice.
film directors.
Awesome.
And so
You should look up Ingmar Bergman. I bet it's just a huge pair of tits.
I guarantee you it is not.
I think you're thinking of something like a Bill Pullman, Bill Paxton situation,
No.
where Bill Paxton is really into chicks with big knockers.
You guys are going to be so shamed.
it is true that
We will not be.
Okay.
yeah, even if we're wrong, we won't be shamed.
I mean, you should be, because, like, you are embarrassing yourself.
I mean, Dan's been working out. He looks pretty great.
Thanks.
I saw Dan actually do a pull-up today, and I was impressed. It
Yeah.
was like, oh, yeah, you're a man.
Yeah, it often gets forgotten by many people.
That, oh, yeah, you're a man.
Yeah. People,
Thanks,
So-
Andy.
people think of me
That's
as an
great.
amorphous blob.
We love, yep, a shambling mound. Yeah, we love getting gifts. Thank you so much for these.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
thanks, everybody. Send us more gifts. Or don't. Just listen. I
thank
don't
you
know.
for giving
Thanks.
every single one of us a gift. Everybody in this room.
I've actually
Got a
received a couple movies.
It's too bad that Hallie died, or else we'd give her a
I've
gift.
received a couple movies as
I'm-
gifts that I haven't had a chance to
Whatever
watch yet,
happened to
so I
Hallie
feel
anyway?
bad.
I'm still alive.
She
I'm
somehow
here.
her mouth got sewn up, or no, that's what I
No.
wished happened.
I'm here.
So she'd be quiet. For a moment.
Oh.
You said that like you were upset and also a little intrigued.
I never.
So this first letter is from Jeff, last name withheld, who writes, "While eating breakfast alone this morning, but not for any sad reasons, I happened to overhear some people at the table next to mine talking about movies.
Talking about ordering the pancake with the works.
After a lady recommended that her companion see the excellent new Pixar film Inside Out, a gentleman at the table semi-dismissed it as a kid's movie and instead recommended that his friends check out the hilarious movie for adults he'd just seen, Last Vegas. He loved all the zany antics that, quote, Mike Douglas and company got up to,
Mike Douglas.
but he especially liked the part where the main characters deny 50 Cent entry into their party, which seemed to have filled him with a level of joy that only makes sense if he had a personal grudge against 50 Cent.
He might be the guy who shot 50 Cent.
Racist.
Anyway, it got me thinking.
He then completed his breakfast of, I'm guessing, diarrhea and other stupid shit.
You don't want to eat that food. Have some poop.
Have any of you ever encountered someone who really loves a really terrible movie? I don't mean the thing where a certain flopper asterisk keeps recommending a movie that isn't very good over and over again, double asterisk, but more a 10,000 BC or Oogie Loves level of
That
badness.
Talking Heads movie that Dan's always talking about.
A movie so bad you can't fathom someone actually enjoying it. What do you do in that situation? RUCK in the USA, Jeff, last name withheld. Oh, twist ending, asterisk, Elliot, the Devil, and Daniel Webster.
Whoa, that's a great movie. I've only recommended it like twice, I think.
Sorry, I'm distracted by the adorableness that is Hallie trying to open a beer.
Yeah, it's like a mouse in a Disney cartoon trying to open a human-sized bottle.
It's like
You need
it's like a squirrel trying to break an acorn open.
It's like one of those. It's like one of Merry Melody's cartoons that just take place in a world where like objects come to life at night.
so I've encountered this situation.
I'm an object to you.
Whoa.
Just kidding.
This happened to me kind of recently. I had a barback who worked for me who
Farback Mountain.
could not stop talking about his favorite movie, a movie called Boondock Saints. And every time he started talking about Boondock Saints, I'm like, this is going to affect your tip out, buddy. And then he would try and find internet proof that Boondock Saints rules. He was never able
And other
to.
movies drool.
Yep. So the way I dealt with it is
He
by
called
making
up,
fun
look
of
who's
him.
talking, look who's
Beethoven
talking.
does drool, yeah.
Yeah. Turner and Hooch.
There's a lot of drool in that.
Very drooly. Yeah. So, Stuart, you were saying the story?
I don't know. I just fucked with this guy a bunch.
I think,
Sent him text messages of movie reviews, Rotten Tomato scores, etc.
I think if you're having fun with it, that's one thing. But on a serious level, all you can do is say, hey, buddy, I didn't like that movie, but you like it. That's okay. We don't all have to like the
Wow,
same
live and let
things.
live from Killer Kalen.
What I've realized is that I am a strange man with a lot of strange opinions about things. And if I'm going to ask people not to judge me by them, I can't judge other people by them. Or I can judge them silently. In my head, I can be like, if this person ever recommends a movie to me, I'm not going to watch it. The way that, like, my mom will be like, here's a movie you'll like, and she'll recommend a movie I won't like. It's a movie that she likes.
Yeah.
That's, you know what? I just say, oh, I'll see that sometime, and then I don't.
I want to introduce you to a little maneuver called the smile and nod.
The old SAN.
I can't believe you've been doing that to me the whole time, Dan.
Oops. Cat's out of the bag.
Turns out Dan doesn't even like porn. He was just smiling and nodding whenever Stuart mentioned it.
You got to see this thing. It's amazing. There's a
Yeah.
naked lady in it, and
Yeah.
she totally does it.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Makes your
All
penis
of
real
it.
big. Whatever.
No, you sound like you're delivering the moral to a bully in a sitcom. Yeah, bet it made your penis real big. Now you don't have any friends. Was it worth it? Feels good, doesn't it? Having a temporarily bigger penis.
Maybe you should learn for your heart to ejaculate.
You forgot it's more important to have a boner in your courage.
So, Hallie, how do you deal with people when they don't like movies that are good?
Or when they like movies that are bad.
I usually
That's
think
what I
that I'm wrong.
That's another valid way of going about it. Lean in, Hallie.
Sadly, the ladies know what I'm talking about.
So this next letter goes like this. Dear Radio Zork, I vote to stare at the door intently while studying its material composition and assessing the quality of its craftsmanship. Greg, last name withheld.
That's
So-
a pretty good
Why do
response.
they all
Yeah.
hold their last names? What are they afraid of?
That
Criminal prosecution.
it's against the law to write letters to us.
Oh.
So, Elliot, what happens with that response?
So he looked at the door. Mm-hmm. You see that the door is made of wood or possibly metal. Do you, A, continue to look at the door, B, look harder at the door, C, reach out and touch the door, or E, I skipped D,
Oh, wow.
E, look for D. Send in your choice to Radio Zork, care of Murphy Brown, FYI Productions, New York, New York, 100-449-678-235, Jenny.
Sponsored by Sweet Delicious Penises, if I recall.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Radio Zork was sponsored by Sweet Delicious Penises.
Hallie just gave a confused, but not angry, but confused look.
I was trying to imagine a sweet, delicious penis.
Like such a thing does not exist.
Well, they're available as long as... wait.
If you cover one with caramel, but it's going to be hell to clean off.
Oh boy. It's going to be sticking to the drawers.
Wait, why?
The bottom drawer, the top drawer, sock drawer, all of those
All
drawers.
the
You're
drawers.
just sticking
All
your
the
penis
drawers
in your
that you
dresser?
keep your penis in.
Yeah, you gotta change it up every night, or else the fucking munchkins are gonna grab it. Take it off to their fucking little
The cobblers are going to
magical
come and
land.
cobble their penis sheath for you.
Wait, well, that's not a bad thing. You want a penis sheath.
I feel like that's a comedy essay that for some reason was never written about. An old cobbler who couldn't, his store was about to go out of business, and he didn't know what to do, and then one day he woke up in the middle of the night and an elf was just like jerking him off. It's like, this isn't going to help me with the store. I appreciate it, but it's not. Like, I better write that story and send it into Penthouse Comics when they still publish those.
I'm not complaining, but
Are they still going to put naked ladies in Penthouse?
I have to assume they're going to up the naked lady quotient now that
they're gonna
Playboy has
double
stopped.
it.
What about Playgirl? Is that still going to be wall-to-wall penises?
I assume so. I mean, I don't know
City.
all of their business decisions.
I assume so. I don't know. I don't know.
It'd be funny
She just totally did a Dan impression.
if they took all the naked ladies out of Playboy and they just put them in Playgirl, and the purchasers for Playgirl were like, "What the hell is this?"
look, we had to put them somewhere. It's not like you can't take photos of these women.
Just shovel them into this other thing.
Shovel them in. Like
So-
coal into a locomotive.
So this goes like this. How about a callback to last year's Song of the Autumn, Rocket Crocodile and the World of Tomorrow?
Great song.
I put an MP3 of it on a mix I made for my family's road trip through eastern Canada this summer,
Weird.
and it became a favorite of my two little kids, aged
Really?
7 and 4.
Oh,
That's nice.
The best part was hearing them sing Stewart's line, I think I've seen this movie in my dreams. And because my son's idea of good humor is to negate everything, he liked to start singing the song correctly, Rocket Crocodile in the World of Tomorrow, but then he would sing, it's a movie that exists before coming to a dead stop. Yours, R, rest of first name withheld, S, rest of last name withheld.
That
Why
is
are your fans so
RL
ashamed to be your fans that they don't want to?
You've heard this podcast. We're a bunch of Looney Tunes and knuckleheads.
I like that the young man plays with expectations in his comedy.
It reminds me of my own son's new experiments in comedy.
Ugh.
He wrote a knock-knock joke that I think you guys are going to like. Let's go through it. Knock,
Okay.
knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Mommy,
Mommy who?
daddy. This is an actual joke that Sammy told me. It follows on the heels of his earlier joke about his grandparents, which goes like this. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who's there? Sure.
Bubby.
Bubby.
Who?
Zadie. Which is his grandma and grandpa.
I like the how he's playing with gender roles.
Very
so-
timely in this era of Caitlyn Jenner. I feel like now more than ever, these
Caitlyn
knock
Jenner.
knocks.
Yeah, my family member Caitlyn Jenner.
I can say in all honesty that I laughed at that as hard as any joke that you've ever told.
I guess Sammy will take the credit for that. Funny kid.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I like how kids think it's funny just to say the opposite of a thing.
Yeah.
That's how they learn, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Very wistful. To everything, turn.
it was at that moment I realized.
Down, down, down.
I should have never disowned my 7 children that are around. Nothing.
Savage children?
Yeah, Fred Savage children. That's what we're talking about.
All right, let's get back to the letters.
What a child actor that Fred Savage.
And adult actor.
Okay.
You know what? Does anyone watch that show? I heard it was funny.
Grinder?
But on a podcast, I heard it was funny.
I haven't seen it.
Grinder, I watch it. It's funny enough.
You use Grinder.
That's right. Look, if you know of a better way for me to have my illicit homosexual assignations,
Far be it from
then
me
tell
to question your methods. They seem to be working great.
This is from Sarah, last name
See you,
withheld.
Carl. Oh, sorry, Carl, the guy that Dan was sleeping with. He just-
Carl's Jr. is the hamburger fortune owner.
Who Jan was sleeping with on
His
air.
last name is Richard Carls Jr. His full name, that's Richard Carls Jr. Dan.
Sarah, last name withheld, writes, Dear Elliot,
Hey.
because of your nerdy charm and nasal wit, I've fallen in love with guys like you. I recently met a guy exactly like you, even down to the catchphrase repeating shouts in a creative writing club at my college. My
Sounds like
question
something
is,
I would do.
am I attracted to him because of him, or do I only like him because he reminds me of you and thus the Flophouse? Should I show him his podcast doppelganger? Sincerely, Sarah, last name withheld.
I would say, why question what the motivation of love is? Instead, if he's anything like me, he's not used to having girls go after him, so go after him. Give him a thrill. Maybe you'll find out you really like him for him, and not just because he's a pale simulacrum of your heartthrob, me. But maybe don't play this for him, this episode in particular. Like, maybe play a different episode for him if you really want to. But he may be like,
Yeah, when you introduce
is
him
that me? And then he'll become obsessed with tracking down his other half. And then he'll try to take over my life.
Like the dark half?
Exactly.
Or like single white
Or maybe
female.
he'll try and
Stiletto
eat
in your
heart,
eyes.
so he gets your power, and then you can be Devil Elliot.
Joke's on him. The power's not in my heart.
Now, so when you start,
gonna tell you
when
what
he
my
starts
power
totally
is.
getting into this podcast, you probably don't want him to hear this episode. So you should just, when it comes on, be like, oh, there's something wrong with this episode. Technical difficulties,
Yeah, or just like start kissing him, and he'll be like, and
and he'll throw his iPod in the garbage.
I don't understand.
It could be Don Knotts.
Has she gone for him?
I mean, there's no.
Why are you examining the letter for additional information?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to know. It's like
I printed out this from an email. There's no
I know.
like.
Computer enhance.
No.
Tell me what
I was
happens
looking at it
next.
because I was wondering, is it like she has a crush on him and she hasn't expressed her feelings to him, or she's like dating him and she hasn't expressed that she's into him because he reminds her of you?
Isn't that
Yeah,
the
it's
test?
not-
Isn't
it's
that the
not
test
clear.
of great literature that it makes us ask questions?
You know, yes.
It's not clear whether they're
Yes,
together
Sarah.
yet.
Is the next letter from the same person that has a continuation of the
It
storyline?
is. I totally boned down with Elliot.
Bone down.
Okay, with the pale shadow of Elliot.
Elliot. It reminds me of when I used to write a newspaper column in New York,
Foliot.
and a woman, fake Liet, Elliot fake Halen, and this woman wrote on her blog about how she had a crush on me,
Was this the girl that was into bondage and stuff?
and she was super into bondage, and she had like corset piercings on her back, which are 2 rows of piercings that you can string ribbon between the two, so it looks like
Oh my
her body is a
goodness.
corset.
That sounds perfect
And there
for
were
you.
all these pictures where she was holding big guns, and it was like, man, if I was a different person, I would be tracking this woman down, and I'd have a ton of crazy stories to tell if I lived to tell them. But instead, I didn't do that.
Instead, you got nervous and hid somewhere.
Yeah.
For years. Yeah.
Until Danielle coaxed you out of your little mouse hole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With a big piece of cheese.
Piece of Lincoln biography.
Just a piece of it.
Yeah, write us back, Sarah, and let us know what happened with this burgeoning romance. But last
And thanks for writing in.
letter. Hey there, Peaches. Listening to your recent episode about Deliver Us from Evil, and I was thinking about people playing Satan in films. Like one of my favorites, Peter Stormare in the hit 2005 hit Constantine. I don't know that that's a hit.
They did a TV show off of it.
I was
which was
wondering
canceled.
what's your favorite devil in cinema? John, last name withheld. Favorite devil in cinema?
I mean, for me, it's Walter Houston in The Devil and Daniel Webster. I feel like he straddles the line between a funny devil and a scary devil really well.
Yeah.
And he's just so kind of like quiet for a lot of it in a very intense way, and I like that a lot. But then he has creepy laughs.
Does Night on Bald Mountain from Fantasia count? Is he the devil?
I
or
mean,
is he just
technically, he's just a demon, I think. Was
Yeah.
his name Malvolge or something like that? Or,
I don't know.
But yeah, sure, go ahead. He's super devilly scary. He's huge. He's as big as a mountain.
I mean, he's the coolest looking one, I feel like.
That's for sure.
Allie, you have a
Well,
favorite
when you
devil?
said the devil and Daniel Webster, I just thought of the devil and Daniel Johnston, and that was such a good movie. So that's
The
all.
devil's not actually in that.
Wait, what?
It's a documentary.
All right, the
Yeah.
documentary.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say,
What about She Devil with Meryl Streep?
oh, I actually saw She Devil like 3 times in theaters. I was pretty into She Devil.
With Ed Beagley Jr.
Ed Beagley, the dog version of Ed Beagley.
Super bigly.
on Capital Critters.
So
that was the version of him.
I'd probably say this is going to be a bit of a spoiler alert, everybody, but I would probably say Robert De Niro in. Wait a minute, what's that movie with
Angel Heart?
Angel Heart?
Chernobyl.
Where he
is the
plays
name of the
Louis Cypher.
Chernobyl.
Oh, I was thinking
Look,
of
get
the
it?
that
Al
sounds like
Pacino.
Lucifer.
Get it?
That's
What?
Devil's Advocate.
Yeah,
with Al Pacino.
I was thinking of Devil's Eye.
Although
didn't
Tim
think
Curry
about
in
it
Legend
both
is
ways.
really good too.
Tim Curry in Legend's really good.
That's probably about the only thing I like about Legend.
Yeah. Al Pacino in Devil's Advocate is a good, like, over-the-top, goofy devil.
Wait a
He's
minute,
just-
he's over the top in a movie?
He goes over the top. He turns his hat around backwards, and he wins an arm wrestling competition. But there's a lot of good devils in film.
Viggo Mortensen in The Prophecy.
In Interview with a Vampire.
Is there a
Go
devil
on.
devil in
there?
that?
Well, the theme song was like, pleased to meet you. Where'd you
Sympathy
get
for the devil, yeah.
That, or as Stuart called it in last episode, pleased to meet you.
There's Devil in a Blue Dress. There's no devil in it, but it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, there's whoever plays the devil in Haxan, also known as Witchcraft Through the Ages, which is a silent movie that's really good.
There's good devil worshippers,
Sure.
in Rosemary's Baby.
Tom Noonan in House of the Devil.
Yeah, that's really good. Or in The Devil Rides Out with Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee is not the villain.
Mm-hmm. But does he play the devil?
No, he's actually the hero in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that great film, God.
Wait, what? I don't even know what the hell he's laughing
I
at.
don't know where she's going with it.
You can't get it out.
Well, great question. We all answered.
Anyway, so
I'm able to
should we
say
move on to
whatever it was.
recommendations?
That great film, God and the Devil.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, is that a movie, I guess?
I'm so baffled by how I'm supposed to react to that. I don't know what it means.
Maybe a nod and smile, or do you?
Like that's one of those times where like
It's not a movie. It's just like, what if someone had made that movie?
I don't understand.
What if?
What if somebody made a movie called God and the Devil, and somebody had to play the devil? I think is what she's saying. That character would be amazing. That'd be her favorite.
So this is the part.
Something to think about.
It's something to think about.
Sisters. This is the part of the show where we recommend.
We are way over time.
Where we recommend. I mean, compared
As
to where
quickly as possible.
we recommend movies that we actually liked.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did we ever?
Instead of the thing that we watched. I will go first because I'm already talking. 4th Shocktober. This is an interesting movie. It's not entirely a horror movie, but it definitely becomes very horrifying by the end. And it's a film called Seconds by John Frankenheimer.
Yeah.
It has a
Frankensteiner.
Frankenheimer's monster.
It has a lot of the same sort of style that he brought to the Manchurian Candidate. It has the same kind of beautiful black and white photography. It has the same paranoia. It has the same like weird sense of humor beneath everything.
The cinematography is even a little more intense. Than, like I feel like there's a lot of Terry Gilliam style that comes directly from Seconds.
And it's about a service that can provide wealthy middle-aged men with basically a second chance at life. It fakes their death and then sets them up with plastic surgery that takes at least 20 years off of them and kind of gives them a new life. And it's kind of...
In a way, it gives them a second time around, step by step, day by day. I don't know the rest of how that
Second
theme
time
song
play.
goes. Patrick
People we
Duffy
know.
All right.
and Suzanne
This
Summers.
is not helping anything.
Seconds, John Frankenheimer.
But
and it's shot by James Wong Howe.
yeah, and dramatically it covers some of the same ground as Mad Men. That kind of like finding out that like just starting over in a new life is not enough to make you happy if the problem is within yourself rather than in your external circumstances. But instead of it being sort of a humorous drama, it's a dramatic paranoid thriller horror film. So
With Rocky Hudson.
yeah. So that's what I recommend. Seconds. Anyone else?
Why not go back for seconds?
Mhm.
Says Dan McCoy from the Flophouse.
I'm going to recommend a movie called Creep.
I was going to recommend Creep.
This is the second time I've recommended a movie called Creep. This time is
Say it
the
that way?
That's how they say it in the movie.
Creep. This one is not the movie about the monster living in the subway. Instead, it stars one of them Duplass boys.
You totally stole
I
my
totally
recommendation.
scooped you,
scooped my
dude. You probably got a million old-timey bullshits to
I did
recommend.
have another movie I was going to recommend in addition.
That's
so.
convenient. So I'm going to recommend the movie Creep. It's a shorty. It's only like an hour and 15 minutes. It's got one of them Duplass boys in it.
There's only two people in it.
Yeah, there's only
There's
two people
two
in it.
people on screen, and you hear one other person
two-hander.
over a phone.
Yeah.
Like True West or something.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of.
And it's about a videographer who answers a personal ad to film a guy for one day for $1,000. And it immediately gets creepy. He goes out of this cabin out in the woods, and he interacts with his subject, who is played by Mark Duplass, who is the best special effect in all of horror movies, as he is super creepy, who explains that he wants this videographer to film him for the day because he is dying of brain cancer and he wants his unborn son to get to know his father.
He goes, do you ever see that movie My Life?
Yeah.
Michael Keaton, it's a great movie. Anyway, and I love that I was like, I haven't heard anyone mention My Life in a long time.
And then it goes on from there, and it ends up being like quiet at times and also scary and great.
Mm-hmm. It functions really well, I thought, as like a kind of a short story of a horror movie.
Yes.
And where it's like sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's creepy and
I've complained, and it's a found footage movie, and I've complained about the format quite a bit, but it seems to be very aware of the format and actually kind of uses the idea of like strange DVDs arriving, and it's very kind of conscious of it as opposed to like, oh, scary stuff is happening and some dude's just filming it.
There are a few scenes where I was like, why do you have the camera?
I mean, that's show me a found footage movie that doesn't do that.
But there's a part that played with my expectations a lot that I respected, where you see something, there's a cut and you see something happening and you're like, why would he shoot this? And then you realize it was shot to make a point to the other character, and I'm like, oh, you got me, movie.
Yeah.
I thought you'd made a mistake, but really you'd outsmarted me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was going to recommend Creep too. I'm glad you liked it, Stuart. But
do you want? I'll go next.
You go next.
You can finish.
Well, it just means that I'm going to recommend a movie that's not a Shocktober movie. You go, Hallie.
So I don't know. Maybe this has been recommended before, but have you guys talked about My Best Fiend?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if we have talked about
the documentary about
Klaus Kinski.
The Klaus Kinski Werner Herzog movie. So I saw it like a month ago or something, and it is so fucking funny. I mean, like, beside the fact that like it's super interesting because, you know, you learn about Klaus Kinski and you learn about all these movies that they made together that are super famous, but you also sort of like it's about how nuts Klaus Kinski is, but you really get like a window into like how nuts Werner Herzog also is, and it's just like so absurd. Like when they're talking about what is the Aguirre and
Aguirre, the Wrath of God?
Yeah, when they're talking about filming that, and like Werner Herzog is telling the story about how he's like was staying in this place, and he was like, yeah, and we were staying in this smaller village, and I was, everyone else was staying in tents, and I was staying in a home with this woman with 9 children who was raising 200 guinea pigs. And it was very uncomfortable because you would wake up in the night and you would just have hundreds of guinea pigs just like swarming over you. And so I realized I needed to find a different living situation. But said in like total humorless description, and their relationship is super interesting, and like it is so funny without meaning to be funny that I don't know, it was a joy to watch.
In the darkness I can see the guinea pigs looking at me.
You look into the eye of a guinea pig and you see not even a pig. The fur reminding one of the womb in some way. I don't know how that makes sense. It's
definitely, there's like he's talking about how like Klaus Kinski sees nature so is so reverent of nature, and he's like, when I see nature, I see blood, I see rape, I see violence.
They published Herzog's diary that he was keeping during the filming of that movie, or it's either that or the filming of Fitzcarraldo, and it is all that stuff. It's hilarious. He's like, the jungle is a place of savagery and slaughter. Man has tamed it, but has he ever really tamed anything? Like he thinks life is so scary. And then he makes a movie like that Loch Ness movie where where it's a total joke on his own personality. So I thought I was going to recommend Creep for Shocktober, and I was like, this is a found footage movie. No way is Stuart going to see this.
Haha, scooped.
He totally scooped me. So I'm going to recommend a non-Shocktober movie that I liked. It's called Ginza Cosmetics. It's a Japanese movie from the early 50s.
It's a commercial about cosmetics.
And it was directed by, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong, I'm sure, Mikio Naruse, who was known more for like women's films or movies about women. And I feel like it's a kind of movie that there are many of throughout Japan's history, but which film fans in America don't always see. I feel like we watch a lot of samurai movies, we watch a lot of like violent, cop movies or whatever, or watch a lot of like Japanese thrillers or things like that, or ghost movies. But there's this huge genre that for whatever reason doesn't seem to I don't see as much of, and
women's films.
Women's films, and but like films about the way people actually live in Japan or lived when the movies were being made, rather than like period pictures or monster movies or things like that. And it's a very kind of delicate movie. The emotions are kind of reticent in it to a degree that is, I found, more powerful, because the characters do not want to show what a tough time they're having in life. And it's a melodrama about a single mother who is a geisha at a bar in the Ginza district and briefly sees that there might be an opportunity for her to leave this life and have like a better life with her and her son, and it just doesn't work out. But it's all done very, like, the character's very tentative and everything's very delicate, and I found the score in it very affecting, because it was like the music was kind of sad but not super sad. It was a movie that...
Is it played on a shamisen?
I don't know what that is.
It's one of those Japanese guitars.
Like a chamois you would use to wipe a car off?
Yeah. Yep, like what he's doing.
Offensive.
But I really liked it a lot. It's a movie that kind of forces you to kind of supply
Think about women's films.
What?
Think about women's films. Never mind.
It forces you to think about women's films, yeah. Anyway, Ginza Cosmetics. I liked it.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's the saddest time of the year. Another Shocktober come and gone.
It's the longest it'll be until another Shocktober.
But you know what?
When is this episode going to be
Cagemas
released?
is just around the corner.
On Halloween?
It is coming out on Halloween.
On Halloween.
On All Hallows Eve.
That's what my mom calls me, Halloween. She calls me Halloween,
That's
not
a
Halloween.
Peek behind the curtain.
Because you were in the band Ween for a while?
Yes.
Dean Ween, the other Ween, and Halloween.
With Halloween, yeah.
Okay. Have a great Halloween, people. Signing off. This is Hallie Haglund from the Flophouse.
Hijacked the end of the episode. I had a whole speech about the chilly day when the spirits roam, but I guess I'm not even going to get into that. The sound of crinkled leaves.
That was Hallie Haglund, and this is the rest of the story. The end.
Thanks, Hallie. I've been Dan McCoy.
I've been Stuart Wellington.
And as the veil between our world and the spirit world once again thickens, I will be Elliot Kalin. Or will I? Merry Halloween, Miss.
Okay.
Skeleton.
Use your imagination, dude.
I don't even know how to begin to answer that question.
Are you saying you would be because you can't decide if you would fuck a pile of bones?
Yeah, I mean, come on, look at it right there.
I mean, it's already in the reclining position.
It's just weird that you said sexy skeleton and pile of bones as if those are not the same thing.
Well, one is like a disconnected pile of bones, and one is still...
Yeah, I get it. Sexy. How to begin to answer that question.
Are you saying you would be because you can't decide if you would fuck a pile of bones?
Yeah, I mean, come on, look at it right there.
I mean, it's already in the reclining position.
It's just weird that you said sexy skeleton and pile of bones as if those are not the